On an unassuming side street just outside of Panama City's downtown core is where you'll find Maito, a restaurant where magical things happen. When we went to the restaurant, Maito was ranked as the 6th best restaurant in all of Latin America, and the restaurant has been on the list for more than a decade. When researching the restaurant prior to my visit, I was surprised to learn that they had a vegan tasting menu, while the a la carte menu was a celebration of seafood and fine cuts of meat. I had a choice. Do I go for the $100 vegan tasting menu with the possibility of disappointment, or the a la carte menu and experience seafood cooked in one of the top restaurants in Latin America? As a devout carnivore, I can count on one finger when I knowingly went to a restaurant for a solely vegan experience. And if this channel is to push my boundaries of cuisine, then by all means, let's go vegan. I arrive at the restaurant and take a seat on their shaded terraza, an expansive space with plenty of plants and flowers, and I order a drink, the Abuelo Maito. It's a coconut with the shell removed and is filled with a 7-year-old Abuelo rum, vermouth, ginger, and coconut water. It's refreshingly strong and delicious, and I couldn't help but think this is what Malibu's rum strives to taste like, but falls short of the mark. This is the real deal. The food starts to arrive, and the first course is a geisha coffee broth in a gorgeous artisanal pottery. And Eric, my waiter, asked if I like things spicy, which I do.
Chili.
Okay.
Spicy Panamanian.
He had a squeeze bottle of a homemade hot oil, and he added just 1 drop to the broth. I was instructed to stir before tasting. The hot oil added a nice little kick to the broth. The broth didn't taste too much like coffee. It was a rich umami bomb that woke up my palate and got me ready for the rest of the menu. As each course arrived, Eric explained what the dish consisted of, and his knowledge of the preparation and ingredients was definitely impressive. With Panama's expansive coastlines on both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, seafood is definitely big here, and one of the most popular Panamanian dishes is ceviche. I didn't expect to see a ceviche on the vegan menu, but the third dish was a palmito, or fresh hearts of palm ceviche. It was made with red onion, jalapenos, sweet pepper, carrots, and mint in a basil broth and a vegan leche de tigre, or tiger's milk, that's known as a hangover cure. The flavor from the dish was intensely delicious. The citrus and herbs complemented the vegetables perfectly, and the leche de tigre, mixed with the basil broth, tasted insanely good. This was one of my favorite dishes on the menu. The quote-unquote meat dish consisted of eggplant with quinoa, red onion, mint, and a coconut mushroom sauce with a basil broth. It was well balanced, with pop of the quinoa and diced jicama adding a nice crunch. The next course was a cross-section of broccolinis served with broccoli flowers, red onion, with a red miso and coconut sauce. This was the type of dish I was expecting from a vegan course, taking an underutilized part of the vegetable and featuring it cooked and presented in a way that a carnivore such as myself could have trouble even conceptualizing. It takes a chef who truly loves vegetables to offer a vegan tasting menu in an otherwise seafood restaurant, and this dish sings of their love of vegetables. There was so much umami in the sauce. I could have eaten seconds of this dish. It was so good. An olive oil cake was next as we get out of the savory dishes and into the sweets. The cake was made of chickpeas, zucchinis, and parsnips. The sauce was a demi-glace made from the geisha broth used at the beginning of the menu. The chef did the old boomerang trick and brought us back to the start of the experience. I thought this was the dessert course, but I was in for another treat. Vegan panna cotta. Vegan panna cotta? Panna cotta is Italian for cooked cream, so how can there be a vegan panna cotta? Hidden under a crispy tuile and a layer of crunchy caramelized coconut was a panna cotta. The tuile was made of cassava and it was decorated with a gel made from the geisha coffee and elderberry flowers. I asked Eric what the panna cotta was made from, and he replied coconut milk. The texture was exactly what you'd expect from a panna cotta. It was barely set, with a nice jiggle, and the bitterness of the vegan caramel balanced the dish perfectly. From start to finish, the vegan experience at Maito was not what I was expecting. I was expecting tofu or dishes that were trying to be meat, and I was so wrong. All of the dishes were proudly vegan, without trying to be something they weren't. The two dishes that resembled non-vegan dishes, the ceviche and the panna cotta, showed me that they could be made vegan without compromising the integrity of the dish. I recommend trying the vegan tasting menu at Maito, especially if you aren't vegan or vegetarian. As someone who tries to cram as much meat into a meal as possible, I didn't find myself missing meat or feeling that protein deficient headache afterwards. Maito's decision to do a vegan tasting menu is a bold move that should be celebrated. Eric confessed that I was the first person to book their vegan tasting menu ever. I was surprised, but not really at the same time. I could see why somebody would forgo the vegan tasting menu over their seafood dishes, but if you do that, you just might be missing out on something glorious.